The other day something happened and it kind of made me freak out. So, those of you who know me, you know that I'm a teacher. And during lunchtime, some of my students came to me. So, they came running to me saying that, this little boy something was happening to him. They didn't know what it was, but they were freaking out. So, like four of them ran to me. And I said, what's happening? So I went around there to the room where he was. And this little boy is 8 years old. 8 years old. So his head, when I got there, his head was on the desk, but he was really, you could see that he was really anxious. He was shaking. He was crying. So I put my hand on his back and I was saying, what happened? And when I did that, he raised himself up and he just had this wild look on his face, right? And I said, come. So I took his hand, took him into the office. So it was just me and him alone, right? Took him into the office. And I said, what's wrong? Tell me what's wrong. And he said to me, Miss, I'm having a panic attack. No, when he said that to me, I was taken aback because I'm saying, this little boy, this 8-year-old boy is talking about having a panic attack. Does he even know what a panic attack is? How are those words even part of his vocabulary? For an 8-year-old to be telling me, Miss, I'm having a panic attack. I know I've spoken to older people, like in their 50s, late 40s, and beyond, who have told me, women, I don't think I've heard a man come to me and say I had a panic attack, but I've spoken to women, and they have told me it's part of menopause or perimenopause, and they literally feel like they're going to die when they have it. As a matter of fact, a family member told me when she's having a panic attack, she literally feels like she's dying. And several occasions I've ended up at the hospital during an episode, right? Until she is regulated. So I was saying to myself, how is this 8-year-old little boy? He looks like a baby, and an 8-year-old is pretty much a baby. Talking so assuredly that yes, I am having a panic attack. So I said to him, what is that? How does that come on? Do you know what triggered it? What are you feeling? And he said, well, he's as a matter of fact, he said, I'm having a panic attack and I have anxiety. So I said, what's that like? What are the symptoms you're having? How do you feel? He said, well, his heartbeat is fast. So his heart is beating faster. He's very nervous. He just feels totally out of control. So I said, what do you normally do? What does mommy normally do? Because he's telling me like, this is something I've had. So what does mommy normally do? He says, I just need to lie down. So I said, okay, took him to the sick bay, made him lie down, and I contacted his mom. And I said to her, he says he's having a panic attack, which is weird to me. Are you aware of this? And she said, yes. When he was taken to the pediatrician to do his medical, they discovered that, yes, he does have little panic. Maybe it's not a full-blown panic attack. Kids these days, they are very aware of the terminologies that we use and so on. So I don't think it's a panic attack on the level of when, like a woman going through perimenopause would say, I'm having a panic attack with all the hard symptoms that go with that. But he does have some anxiety issues, and mommy says they are being dealt with. He is getting counseling and all of that. So his doc is fully aware of, what he's going through. And mom said also that it's tied with puberty, early puberty. So that's another thing that opened my eyes, that I didn't know that kids, if they start puberty early, they could experience anxiety symptoms and a little panic and things that would be, similar to a panic attack. So, yeah, he knows the terminologies, he's aware of it, and he has assigned them to himself. He has pretty much claimed it. Miss, I'm having a panic attack and I'm having anxiety, which it is good when kids are able to name things properly. Growing up, our parents might give us little names, some crazy names or some cute names for things that we really should know the proper names for. And it can help us to, as kids, it can let them be more autonomous and actually keep them safer when they know the proper names and terms for things, and the situations that are tied to those, and how they can keep themselves safe so nobody doesn't come and tell them foolishness, right? So to some extent that is important. Of course, we know that we always taper things to suit the age so that it's appropriate. As kids grow, we taper things, take it up a notch as they get older, but they definitely need to know the proper terms for this. So this young man, he was telling me, Miss, I'm having a panic attack. And this is so weird to me that at 8, kids are going through this. So it's important that we as adults, especially persons who deal with kids, teachers, counselors, nurses, well, of course, they would be more aware. But it's important that we know that kids go through these things and we have to help them through it. Of course, we have to ensure that they get the support that they need, the professional support that they need to navigate through these periods. It's very stressful. After I made him lie down for a bit, and I was watching him and calming him, and just being there with him. And then within a few minutes, he was up and about again, bouncing about. So it's just important for us to let them know that we are here for them, and these things are part of modern life, because with all of the triggers that are around us, and all of the social media and all of the technology and everything bombarding our nervous system constantly, and these little ones especially are so bombarded. They are very much into the technology, so there's always something beeping, always something going on, and that can throw your nervous system out of regulation, and it can affect them. And we don't always know what the triggers are, so we can avoid the triggers. Because it was just there. It was lunchtime. He had his lunch out, and something happened. Somebody did or said something around him, and it just caused him to freak out. So we just need to pay attention to the little ones around us and be supportive of them, liaise with their parents, and find out exactly what is going on so we can help them to navigate this very difficult time that they're going through.